Hey guys, I wanted to come on and just talk really quickly about the energy right now. Normally, I just put out a blog post about the sun shifting into a different sign as it does it every 29, 30 days. But this time I thought it would be, I did write a blog post, so if you would like to see it, it's right there on my main page, lisasalvatore.com. But it's brief, and I basically touch upon everything in this video, so you don't have to, but if you prefer to read it, you can always go over there and check that out. But today is March 19th, Wednesday, no, Thursday, I think. Yeah, it's Thursday, March 19th. And the sun will move into Aries tonight around like 11:49-ish, 11:50, something like that. And at the same time that the sun moves into Aries, we also have the spring equinox occurring. So it's the initiation of spring, which is a time of rebirth and renewal and positivity and all that good stuff. And when we are in Pisces season, which we are technically still in, when the sun is in Pisces, there's more of just like a passive overall vibe to the energy, more mushy, I would say, slower, not as active. And now that the sun is shifting into Aries, we collectively will likely feel that push because Aries is fire and Aries is all about action. Now, for those of you that follow me, you know that I will always give you the astrological component, but also I want you to really think about what I say and feel what this means for you because it will resonate with people on different levels and in different ways. So I want you to just think about this. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet Mars. And Mars is known as the god of war. Mars also rules over the military. Mars is action, passion, heat, fire, reactive, could be explosive, okay? So think about Aries. That sign is very courageous, it's bold, it's passionate, it's aggressive in a lot of ways for good and sometimes maybe not. But lo and behold, it's active, and we are entering this time period, the next 30 days, ruled by Aries. The sun is in Aries, and the sun does very well in Aries. It's what we say is exalted in astrology, meaning it's like a very positive place for the sun to be. It likes to be in Aries. The overall energy is very motivating for action. It's for call to action. That's what this is, okay? Now, with that said, we do enter. Aries is also a cardinal sign, and as a cardinal sign, cardinal signs initiate, and so we are also at the point where spring is being initiated at the same time that the sun moves into Aries. And again, this, on the positive side, could feel like, or normally would feel like a breath of fresh air. But let's be realistic. We are under some heavy times right now. On the physical level, our bodies are susceptible and vulnerable, I should say, to something that is beyond what we know enough about, or even if we think we know enough about it, whatever side you stand on with all of this. But bottom line is our bodies are more vulnerable right now. And it's kind of forcing, or no, not kind of, it is forcing a lot of us to go be by ourselves, with ourselves, right? And unpack a lot of maybe some garbage, right? Some emotional garbage, some things that we need to clean up, okay? Physically, emotionally, spiritually. So if you use this time for that, you can emerge from this stronger. And as spring is upon us, you can like rebirth yourself a little bit. That's on the positive side. Now, I do want to say that this is not to sound doom and gloom, but this is kind of like the calm before the storm, right? We really don't know what's going to happen, but as of next week, Mars and Jupiter will make a conjunction. And what's important about that is that I mentioned what Mars is all about, which is action, heat, fire, fevers, okay? So think about that. Mars and fevers. People are getting sick, spiking fevers. And then Jupiter is the planet that expands things, okay? And it can be very positive in a lot of ways in other circumstances. But when it's conjuncting Mars right now and we are in the middle of a pandemic, we could see a spike in the literal, in this virus. So I would just say, do your part, do what you can. Obviously, where I am, we're not being told we have to stay home, but a lot of people are choosing to do so just to kind of try to avoid being out around people and maybe potentially spreading something, not knowing they have it, or, there's all different viewpoints on what's going on at the moment. And nobody can force you to do anything at this time. But for me personally, I just feel like if I don't have to go anywhere or be anywhere, I'm choosing not to be right now because I'm a rule follower, okay? I always have been. And I just feel right now, if they're saying don't go out into crowds, I mean, obviously I have to go to the supermarket, right? Here and there. I did it this morning, and I'll show you just to kind of keep my vibe up. I bought myself these pretty orange and spring-colored flowers here because it is the first day of, tonight into tomorrow is the first day of spring. So I'm trying to keep a positive, optimistic attitude above all else with everything that's going on right now, and hoping and praying, like all of us, that this blows over or kind of ceases quickly, okay? But reality is reality, and we're seeing what's going on right now. And so so we've got that Mars-Jupiter conjunction next week. I don't want to predict that there's going to be a huge peak in this virus. I'm hoping that there isn't going to be, but I do study astrology, and I also am very intuitive, and I pick up on a lot of things prior to when they happen. So I'm going to hope that that's not the case. But then we move on further in the week, and Mars will then join up with Pluto. And Pluto is the excavator in astrology. So when you've got the planet Mars with Pluto, it's like, I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but think about that. There's people that are think about Italy, people that were catching the virus that they had to choose who got to live, basically, because they didn't have enough respirators, or from what I was told. I actually I'll be honest with you, I hardly ever watch the news, especially right now, because it just gives me anxiety, so I try not to. But I read a lot, obviously, and I see things and hear things from others. So regardless, I'm just saying that next week into the following week, we could see a lot more of what we've been seeing. So I would just say, if you need to go to the store tomorrow or then over the weekend, do it. Make sure you have what you need, just to get you by for a little bit, because we really just don't know, right? So I just want to say that. And then Saturn will move into Aquarius Saturday, March 21st. Saturn will move into Aquarius after having been in Capricorn, and it will stay there until, I believe it's September, and then it will retrograde back into Capricorn. So Saturn is structure. It's boundaries, it's limitations, it's rules. And so going from Capricorn into Aquarius, we could have a little bit of reprieve where rules could be bent a little bit to fit the new structure, because we're all under this new structure right now. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction that took place in January of this year is all about restructuring, and none of us knew at that time exactly in which way this would take form, but it's happening right now. So at the end of all this, there will be a lot of restructuring and a lot of rebirth and a lot of things different. A different earth, a new earth. Things are not going to be the same, and in reality they really need to change. So I don't know, I'm trying to keep a very positive perspective on all of this, that when all is said and done, we'll have a tighter handle on things, as far as our money value systems go, and our money and our personal self-worth, and our personal what's the word I want to use, finding your purpose, I guess, figuring out, because think about it, during this time period we can't do, technically, all that we once did. All those things that we were doing that maybe weren't necessarily running from ourselves, but think about it. When you're going, you don't have that time to actually pull back and assess what's really going on. And you can avoid if you want to. If you don't want to feel certain things or deal with certain things, you can avoid it by just doing all of those other things that can occupy your time, that are so free to us, free willish, where we can just do them. And right now, a lot of those things have been temporarily, hopefully, taken away from us, like the gyms, going out to dinner, things like that. The things that could be outlets for a lot of people are no longer possible. So there's a rebirth that's happening and a restructuring that's happening because it has to. It's time. So if you look at it from that perspective, like a spring cleaning, I really feel like we can come out of this a lot stronger, and at least on the personal level. And like I always say, you can only control what's going on in here and not what's going on the outside. And when we try to do that, we just end up with tremendous amounts of anxiety. And so, really just, I hope you're all keeping up with your care right now, because that's the most important thing, to try to at least mitigate any kind of potential for you to contract this virus. Keeping up with your immunity, exercising a little bit, get outside for some fresh air while you still can, the weather permitted, and as long as we're not told we can't, which I hope would not happen. I would imagine it could not happen, but who knows. But yeah, get out and get some fresh air. If you go with a friend, just keep a healthy distance, I guess. But no, for real, you really do want to try to do some normal things in your life right now. And for God's sakes, turn off the news. It's not gonna make you feel better. It's not going to make you feel good. It's just going to give you anxiety and stress when you're already stressed out, likely to the max. I know most people are really stressed out for very legit reasons, having to do with finances and their work, and but the most important thing to remember is that we are all in this together. And we really do need to stay connected. And thank goodness, let's look at the silver lining, that we are able to be connected through means like social media and FaceTime. I'm so thankful I can see my nieces and nephews still on FaceTime. It's important for all of us to stay connected to the people that feel, as cheesy as this sounds, but who fuel us, who fuel our happiness, that fill our tank, right? We need to be in touch with those people right now more than ever. And if you do talk to people and they're bringing you into that doom and gloom place and it's giving you anxiety and you don't want to be there, just politely, I'll call you tomorrow, or yeah, great, it was good to talk to you, but let's catch up later, if you feel that you can't handle it. Because I know a lot of people are in that space right now where they're telling me, every time I talk to my mother, it's, she recites everything that's going on in the news, and it gives me anxiety, and she tells me how I'm not going to have any money and my kids with the school. Okay, so you have to say, please, I understand that we're in the middle of a crisis, but this is not helping me. And right now I need to be uplifted. And so do those little things that can lift you up for the time being, because that's all we've got right now. And I'm going to be doing some other things over the coming weeks to try to keep things, in this space here. So sign up for my newsletter if you don't get it. Sign up for my YouTube. Sign up for my Facebook, all of that. And you'll be able to see when I do these things. And because it's really important right now that we stick together and that we stay connected, and that we hold space for each other in our hearts, and that we have compassion, and that we understand that we are all going through this in a united way, but also in very different ways. And some people are not as fortunate as others in certain ways, and we need to keep that in mind during this trying time. Now, I have my Spirit Messages Oracle deck by John Holland. It's very pretty, and I thought it would be fitting to give a message from this deck for now, for this time being. Oh, and happy birthday to all of the Aries out there. I'm sorry, this was supposed to be about the sun moving into Aries and all positive stuff, and it is positive for the most part, but I can't overshoot here, and I can't go past and completely avoid what's going on right now as much as I would like to. All right. I'm sorry, you guys probably notice, I always laugh when I do this because look at all of the cards that are in this deck. Literally. I think there's like 86, I want to say. You won't believe the one that I just pulled. Well, you will believe it. Stay connected. We are all born connected to spirit, often known as the divine source, yet many of us have a tendency to pull away from that connection as we journey through life in the physical world. Now is an important time to reconnect to the source. Wow. That's amazing. Like I said, we have to stay connected to those that we hold dear. We have to hold space. We have to pray. We have to have faith. All of those things. It doesn't matter what your faith is or religion or anything like that. It's about honoring where you are right now and how you feel. I'm not saying to avoid how you feel, but honoring where you are and working with it right now and trying your hardest to stay connected, because all we have right now is our faith and our spirit. That's it. It's otherwise we could spiral. It's a very difficult time right now. I'm not by any means not thinking about everything that's happening and not having my own anxiety about it, because I am. But at the same time, I do take the spiritual perspective. I always have, and that's different for everybody. But we have to just trust that we are here for a reason, and that we will rise above this, and that things will get better because they have to, but it will not be immediate. And I really do feel that we are going to likely be in this space of consciousness now through at least July, August. It doesn't mean it's going to get terrible. I mean, it just means that we have to be very mindful right now and pay attention and honestly follow the rules. I'm not trying to sound like, but really, common sense and logic. We need to use our common sense and logic. If you don't have to fly right now, don't. If you don't have to take the train, don't. If you don't have to be in groups, don't. Pretty soon we might not be able to, so who knows? But do what you can do to control your world, to give you a feeling that you're doing your part, okay? Thank you so much, all of you, for your love and support. I'm here for you guys. I do get all of your messages. I know sometimes I don't answer, or it takes me a while because I just don't have it in me to do that all the time, but I do read everything, so please know that. And I will be back soon. We have a new moon on Monday. Saturn is entering Aquarius over the weekend, so I'll be back with some more on that stuff. Take really good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you all soon. Happy spring. Look for the positives right now. It's really all that we can do. And take care of each other and take care of yourself. Bye.